Stitches of love we sew. In this online world we come to grow. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, where hearts align. Let's embrace the craft and let our souls shine.
Hello everyone, I'm Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and we are very happy to see you here today. This is Weekend Project. With my two crafts combined of cross-stitching and quilting, I have come across this necessity of a thread catcher as well as like a little needle holder to hold some of my needles. So the thread catcher is because I've done lots of ripping on my cross-stitching and have made a mess with my thread. So it would have been nice not to make a mess around my whole area and been able just to kind of like catch it on here. I have seen some of our stitchy friends, they've used felt, or they have felt. I have a lot of batting around here, and thread actually sticks to batting quite nicely, so I'm sticking with the batting. It's really easy to come together. You just need like a little bit of fabric and away you go. So I did this patchwork style, just a like basic little 9 patch. These are 2.5-inch squares, and I just laid it out in a very nice little pleasing manner with some of my scraps. And then once you sew that together, it just requires a little button. And here's some of my needles on the inside, and then this is where my thread I kind of all catch to. So when I'm taking it out of my project, or need to have something so it's going to stick and not slide away somewhere, I can put it on here. So I do have a little bit of stabilizer, and I do end up having a lot of bits and bobs left over, and I'm fine for actually piecing stabilizer together. So I'll put it with just a regular seam allowance, and then just kind of like stitch it down so there's no like free up edge there. So you can go and piece your stabilizer, right? Or you can use like a fabric that you're not going to use. It just adds a little bit of stability to it, right? And then a chunk of batting, and of course, me being a quilter, have lots of batting. All right, so let's put that together. We just do, like I said, a basic little 9 patch. You can sew that together quickly, so we'll just pop that off to the side. Once we have that, we will take our 9 patch and we will sew it to an equal size, whether you choose to do this smaller or bigger. That's completely up to you. These are 2.5, so this ends up being 6.5 by 6.5 in the end. You just sew those 2 edges together, okay, with just a straight seam allowance. And then just straight stitch. Do I have that? Yep, just straight stitch. This is a great way to use up some little leftover scraps. Great gift to give to a cross stitcher, or even just anybody with needlepoint, because those little places to put some extra needles and stuff like that. Okay, let's just gonna press this. Okay. And of course, you don't have to use you could use a whole multicolored 9 different colors for your patch, right? So once you get it to that part right there, you're going to put it face down on batting, right? Because that's going to be your other side, right? And you can see it's a nice clean edge because that's why we put it face down. And then we have our little bit of stabilizer or other fabric that we're going to use. I've got the stabilizer, and I didn't cut it exact to exact because I knew I could see through the stabilizer to do some trimming. Okay, and then I'm going to put my pins together so that we'll just go through that again. So that is the batting face up, the one you're going to want on the outside, visual on the outside here. Then your patchwork face down, so they're facing together, as in right sides together, and then the stabilizer on top of that. So you're just kind of making a sandwich with your piecework in between. Now we're just going to put a pin in each corner. Now you can round corners, you can cut the shape any size you like. You want to do hearts, you want to do stars, you want to do pumpkin heads. Go ahead. Like let a coloring book inspire you. If you've got somebody who loves trains, do a train shape. It was actually the camper from the Weekend Project, little camper bag that we made, that inspired me to kind of do this. I was going to do the little camper one and actually had the bits cut out. I'll show you here. But then I changed my mind, so I was like, okay, let's do something different. But it's cute, and I will probably eventually make it into something, but it was going to require more details than I really wanted to go into right at the moment, so to kind of finish that all up, right? I want to really make it look like a camper on the inside. All right, so now we're going to take a space on the long side and preferably not where it's actually got it pieced. So right along here, you just kind of want to give yourself a little bit of a gap to turn this all right side out, okay? So this is a great place to start and to stop. So if we kind of give a little visual, like here to here, that should be enough. So we'll start here and do a 1/4 inch seam allowance and come all the way around. And like I said, whether you round your corners or you keep them nice and pointy, that's completely up to you. Okay, so we're just going to drop the needle here, do a little back stitch, and do a 1/4 inch all the way around. And then lift your foot as you turn, but make sure you're keeping your needle down, because then it helps hold your position. You do these in big size or small size. You can add a little bit of like ribbon or some elastic or some other felt or other type of material on the inside to, you know, stick your little needles to or pins to. And make a little pocket for your little thread if you want to, like really customize it. This can be, you know, something really kind of funky and cool. I'm just trying to see where my block is underneath the stabilizer. Okay, and then lifted my foot, pivoting. Hope you've all had a great week. Tomorrow is Jelly Roll Day, and as you can see by the wall behind me, I've got my colors all picked out for my Jelly Roll project, or pre-cuts 2.5 inch with the fabric strips. You know, it doesn't have to be a jelly roll. It's just the symbol of it all. Okay, so now we're going to come back to the desk here. We're going to take out our pins and give it a little trim. First, make sure visually that we have everything together. We have the fabric underneath with our block fabric and our batting and our stabilizer, and we're all, as I like to say, in the pool. We can see that. It looks good. Okay, so now we can just do some trimming up. We can do that either with a rotary and ruler, which we'll probably just take on right now. Helps if you have both pieces of the project. Okay, just try to even that up just a little bit. I do like to kind of nip off the corners so you can kind of just get a more of a precise point when it comes to turning things right side out. Do you use felt for your thread catchers if you've made them? This is, like, I think, my first time making them, so like these guys. I've made like needle holders and different styles, of course, because there's always different styles. Okay. And then we'll get all the way up to the top on this one. Okay, all right, we'll just clean that up. Maybe. There we go. And then we make sure that we have a nice little section to turn around. And now normally you would try and always go between your interfacing and your block, but you really want to go between the batting and your block. So you just want to put your fingers in through that little hole, and you want to come and get this corner first. So just kind of work your way down there. Now turn it right side out. Usually it's nice to help with the tip of your thumb, kind of pushing that corner in on both of them. Then you kind of get it looks a little bit better on the outside. Okay, so just kind of push those through. Just pull it right out through the hole. Be careful. And I use some really good quality batting, so I know it's going to take a poke or two. Some are really thin, so if you have some thin batting, I'd double it up. Okay, and then just kind of poke that out with your finger, or you can use a little stylus or whatever. If you have some ribbon or old shoelace or some string or whatever, that can be your tie. You just kind of want to lay things flat. Kind of roll that seam just a little bit. Okay, you can always give that a nice good pressing. Okay, And then what I did to have for my tie, where my, oh, there it is. For my tie here, I just took some embroidery floss, took 2 of them together, and my small little crochet hook, put a little loop in the top, and just hooked it, and then pulled it tight, hooked it, pulled it tight, and then just did like a single crochet chain, and just pulled it tight each time to give me the length that I was going to need. This was probably a little way too long, but I just really got excited when I first started. So you could just do it any way you like, right? And then for the small one here, I did just like a little loop and I tucked it in. So I found the spot where I wanted to put it, popped the seam right there, and then stuck my little loop in. And then when I did a top stitch all the way around, I made sure to enclose that in there. Okay, so you just pop that there. And then once you, like I say, you do your top stitch all the way around. It looks really pretty. And that catches that as it's tucked in there, whether you just do the 2, pop it in to put it for the button on the other side, and then you just, or if it's a single, then you could just wrap it right around the button. Now, it's nice to have buttons that kind of pop up a little bit. When I sew on my button, I kind of go underneath. Once I'm done the up and going back and forth through the holes, I do like a little roundabout underneath a few times, and then kind of tuck it so it kind of pops up a little bit. Okay, so isn't that cute? Super easy and adorable little thread catcher. Oh, there's the other one. Here, see, whether you do a big one or a small one. This was just a little bit of leftover fabric from that unicorn project, and yeah, I thought, oh well, I'll just make one of those. And then just around on the button. This button actually popped up a little bit on the other side. You can maybe see that a little bit. So I chose to flip it around so it would pop up, so I could easily put my little string around. Like I say, you can use even a little bit of elastic or even just some regular floss. So, and that's our little patchwork thread catcher and needle holder. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content. Thank you, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow on the Jelly Roll Day. See you soon. Take care. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.